at a short video of ours on your screen. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And I feel really pleasure to be hosting, to be your host for this evening. And so I welcome you all on behalf of AEC Coding Club. As you know, we are gathered here for the orientation program conducted by AEC Coding Club. You must have seen the posters, right? So, what are we going to talk about today? First, let me introduce myself. I am Mehna Naseez Hussain from third year chemical engineering branch, and you might be listening to some background noises. I'm really sorry for that. I have some guests over here, so it's a little bit, there is some commotion. So anyway, uh, let's start with. Before we start, I want to ask how many. What is your branch? Like, which branch do you belong? Can you just comment on that? Just comment on the chat box. Okay. Okay. And CSC. Next one. Okay, chemical. Someone from chemical. Okay. EE. Very good. Very good. We want this. We want this diversification. Yes. Really good. It really feels good to have you all here. And really, thank you so much for being here. Without you, it wasn't possible, to be honest. Chemical, good to see. Okay. So I just wanna ask, like, yeah, EE. Okay, maximum are from electrical, right? Mechanical. Okay, that's good. That's good. So, if I am to ask, why are you here? Why are you here? Will be your reason to be here? You know, to learn. Roadmap. Just for the roadmap. Okay. Okay. You know, most of you coding. Okay. Something new. Eager to learn more. Okay. Very good. I don't know how to start. It's absolutely fine if you don't know how to start. See, maximum of you, yes, maximum of you might have done your 11th and 12th from the school where you did your 10th, right? Or maybe some of you even went to college for doing 11th and 12th. I did it from Cotton College, Cotton University at my time to learn coding, yes. And after entering into sea, AC is like a sea, a big sea, from a small river, from a college, from a school, where you know only a handful of people, maybe 1,500 people. You are in this big college now and trying to navigate in this world, right? It's very daunting to not know where you are going, to not know what you want, right? Some of you might know, might be very sure with what you want. Some of you want to do. Some of you we go to our college. Okay, neighbors. We are neighbors then, huh? Okay, so some of I've seen your chats in the interaction section. Some of you have learned Java. Some of you already know how to code, right? Some of you are very clear with where to go, what you wanna be, and some of you might be looking out for options. Where you want, where is your interest? What are the options for us? If we have chosen a stream, yes, of course, we want to be here. But is it really fit for us? We don't know, right? And to know the answers, to get all our questions answered, we have to explore, right? How old are we? 19, 18, 20? So young. And we have all the time to explore. So I will tell each and every one of you, keep your eyes and hearts open to try anything new. You know, you might be having doubt that if this coding, to be general, to be specific, this coding, if I really want to try coding, like some of you are from chemical, I'm also from chemical, and in chemical branch, we really don't need that much coding, right? We have in our curriculum for the first year C language, normal, basic. But after that, really don't need it. If you want to be very specific if you want to do a core job, you don't need it. But still, it's really good to have a backup plan nowadays, isn't it? Oh, yeah, yeah. Pardon, don't worry. There are experts here to tell you everything about it. Okay, so we are getting to it. So before that, I would like to tell you that this AEC Coding Club was started by our seniors in 2016. And since then, we have had many events and many workshops, you know, to cultivate this coding culture in our campus. And there is a notion, that coding is only for nerds with those big glasses, and only nerds will are into coding. But that's not our vision. Our vision is to expand coding to every branch, to every stream, and also increase the number of female participants as well, the female coders as well. So before we get started, I would just like to introduce you to our team, which should be really good for you. If you have anything, any questions, you can ask any of them, and they will be very willing to help you. So first, let's start with our president, that is Kaustav Dwara. He is also from third year. Next, we have our vice president, very sweet, Swetashri. Then we have our secretary, Devashish. Then we have our treasurer, Sarab. Then we have our technical head, Reckon. Our PR and social media head, Kunjal Sharma. And our event management head, Sajidul Haq. And designer and content head, Divya Chopra. And then we have ML wing moderator. Someone was asking about ML, right? So you can be in contact, get in contact with Prayash for that. And then we have CP. You know what is that? CP? Competitive programming, of course. So for that, we have Tushar over here. And developmental wing, we have Rishikesh. And again, we have Gopali for the development wing moderator as a moderator. And for content, graphics, and content, we have Arindam, Rusha, and myself, Mena. And of course, we have Kaneshwar, our graphics moderator. So, so, so I would like to give you a brief on how are we going to conduct this session. I hope you're not getting bored. Are you? Are you getting bored? Tell me. Write in the chat box. Are you excited? I'm sure you're excited, or else you won't be joining this session, right? Okay. So this is our flow. First, we will have Bhupali to be. She will introduce you to the web development. Then we will have Arindam. He will be telling about Android development. Then followed by Rishikesh for DSA and CP, competitive programming, data structures and algorithm. Then we have Prayash. He will be telling you about ML and data science, trending, right? Then Rushabh, game development. Many of you are very interested in game development, huh? So you will find something interesting, I'm sure. And then we will have Costa. He will be telling you about our future events and plans. So stay tuned till that. Okay, I'm looking at my screen. There are 72 participants. So don't miss out. There are really important stuff which are going to be revealed. And thank you so much. Yes, please, Bhupali. Please. You can. You have this stage now.
Yeah, thank you, Melanie. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. I am Bhupali Sharma. I am in the second year in the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, and right now I am assigned as Development Lead Moderator of the club. So, let's take you through the roadmap of web development. me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, so we'll be giving you a like brief roadmap about web development. Let's start. So, what is basically web development? Web development is the building and maintenance of websites of the internet. Like we type right www dot and it stands for World Wide Web, and everything over there that we manage is basically called web, and how the process of managing the whole thing is basically web development. And these web developers do this, like develop the whole web of internet by using various coding languages. We'll be discussing about that in the later part of our presentation. And this like very wide field of web development is generally broken down into two parts. This is front end and back end. Front end is the part where we see the like how we see the website, and back end is that part where the whole the building process happens. So before we like dive deep into this ocean of web development, I just want to give you like show you something that actually as a user we see only this part of the website, which is the front end. But as this boy can see, this boy sees her as a mermaid, right? But as you can see, she's not really a very sweet little mermaid. She's actually a monster, I guess. So the backend part is the actual where the like main task happen, all the logic goes in the backend. So as a user, we only see this part of any website. Like here is the difference. Front end, the markup front end consists of markup language and web languages such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Specialized web editing software, like all the designing part and all those happens in the front end. Image editing, or and not only image, actually all the videos and all, like whatever media we put into any website, all those are put into the front end. Accessibility, SEO. I'm sure most of you are aware of SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. That all these are done in the front end part, and in the back end programming language of scripting such as Python, Ruby, like we will discuss this in the later part. Server architecture, database, scalable database and server architecture means okay. So database and where we store all our data and how it would like interact with us, I mean the users. All these functionality goes in the backend. Scalability, like suppose we design this for now for only Androids, then we will move to iOS. Then this will like we will have to figure this out in the backend only. Like security, we all know the cyber security, data transformation, backup. All these go into the backend part. Yeah, so mainly front end consists of these three parts: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if I guess this is a parrot, or yeah, so this is the web without CSS. Like we can design, like if this were a website, so this is what we can design using HTML. And once we put CSS, like once we add CSS with HTML, this would start looking like this. And the only reason we didn't add JavaScript here, because once it is fully styled or like structured, and once we add JavaScript, it would actually start flying. So let's talk about the first part, that is HTML. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So HTML is used to design the web pages. HTML gives the structure of a website, alright, and it is a combination of hypertext and markup language. Like obviously this is a bookish like line, so let me break down to you. Hypertext is the link between various web pages. Like web pages are linked through hypertext. And the markup language is the original, like the structural language, those text which define or which will structure the web page. This is called markup language, and here I have added a syntax of HTML text. So yeah, so HTML is not really not really, HTML is not a programming language, it's just a markup language. Now let's talk about CSS. As I have shown you in the previous slide that CSS along with HTML make the websites more presentable to you. Like it is for cascading style sheets, and we all formally call it as CSS. And here are the ways how we can add a CSS into our HTML file. And I have added the syntax. We can have a look at it. Okay, so although it looks like quite simple, right? That CSS will make the website beautiful, but actually, when we actually get our hands dirty, we realize that CSS is like a ocean in itself, right? Like here is a small part of our AEC Coding Club website. I'm so sure you have all gone to the website. If not, please check our website out. So this is a part of our website. I have taken a screenshot, and this is the same part. I have only like messed with or changed the name of two classes, and after the two changes, like this section would look like this. So yeah, so like messing with CSS is not really good idea. Now let's talk about JavaScript. To start learning JavaScript is the only point where the actual programming starts. Alright, that HTML and CSS is not that programming. We like after you learn various programming languages, you will know that this HTML and CSS is not programming. Where the actual programming part starts with JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language. Alright, and it adds logic and interactivity to a website. With HTML and CSS, we will create a button, but if we click the button, then what happens? It basically like JavaScript add that functionality to the web pages. And as you can see this animation, we can do this with the help of CSS and HTML. So yeah, as this is a programming language, JavaScript can be used both as a front end and a back end language. So yeah, let's talk about backend. One can create a backend using almost any programming languages like C, C++, JavaScript, Python. And in the backend, there is a part which is called database. Database is the part where we actually store the data. Although like we can use so many languages, like multiple languages to like design or to structure our backend. So, but here are a few like the combination of database and language or framework which are preferred when we talk about backend. Then if we like design our backend using PHP, then we go for the database MySQL. If we do the same with Node.js, and Express is the name of the framework we use, then we go for the database MongoDB. And if we use Python with the help of these two frameworks, Django and Flask, then we go for the database SQLite. Oh, alright. So, although this looks pretty cool, right? Like web development is actually cool at the very first. That because in the front end part, you just put one button and you can actually like see the changes in your screen, right? So at the beginning, it seems very cool and it's interesting. But as we move forward, things get a little like harder. So our main point is that not to leave the web development once you start the journey, and not to leave the journey in the like midway. And one more thing I want to add, that it's very important that you actually get your hands dirty to design all these things or to build your website. If nothing else, just build a website. Like I will put 100 songs, my favorite songs, and I will design a website. Just go with that. Just start with only HTML, then learn CSS, then add CSS to it. Like just start doing the project, because once you get your hands dirty, then only you will understand how the things work. Okay, so here are a few resources. Actually, we will like at the end of the meeting or like in the WhatsApp group, we will provide you with some links, like free links, like links to the free resources. But here I want to mention that to learn web development, there is a course of 300 hours in this website Codecamp. Also, Udemy also provides multiple like various courses on web development, like full stack web development, backend, frontend separately. Also, here's a platform, Frontend Masters, which my fellow moderator says that it is the best platform to learn front-end development. So this is called Front-end Masters. Actually, this is a paid platform, but once you get a student developer pack of GitHub, you can use it for free. Also, here are two courses. I think these two courses are paid courses, but as we are engineers, right? So we'll all know to how to use torrent and all. So get this course, and these are really very good courses to learn web development. So here we come at the end of the my presentation. Like if you have any questions, you can obviously ask at the end. Like once all the presentations are over. So signing off, Rishikesh Devi and Bhupali Sharma, development wing moderators of AEC Coding Club. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rupali. And are you guys taking notes? Tell me. She has really put some very insightful things, and you should be making notes. Apna Kaksha, yes, I heard. What she has said, I would like to stress upon it. Once you start doing coding, once you start coding, you shouldn't give up midway, okay? That is very important thing. Thank you so much, Vipali. And can we get some reactions because she made the slides so beautiful. Like I was mesmerized by it. And if someone was there to teach me like this, oh my God, really beautiful. Yes, please put your hands together. Show some love. Where are the loves? Fire. Okay. Okay. Next, we are moving on. Arindam, can we please have you on stage on the Google Meet?
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you, Ba. Okay, so one of the commented that is AEC Coding Club made with HTML and CSS? Of course it is. Okay, so I answered that. Anyway, so I was really excited to talk to you guys because you are such hyped up people. And I have been going to the WhatsApp chats regularly, and then I could see your enthusiasm. I really felt good. So anyway, let me introduce myself. I am Arnab Bhawan, and I am the content. Sorry, I mean the Android wing moderator of the club. So yeah, I will go. I will help you to how to start with Android development. So tell me, guys, are you really interested in Android development, like making your own apps? Wait, not now, not now. Wait, before that, let me show you a fun, interesting fact. Okay, just hold on, bro. Okay, this is the average salary of an Android developer, $72,000.
Arnab,
Yes.
just share your screen.
Yeah, I will. Yes, I will. Just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because once I share the screen, so I will not able to read the comments, so I'm waiting for some time. Anyway, so this is the oh wait, two. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Acha, thank you. Okay, so yeah, this is the average salary of an Android developer, and if once you improve your skills, it will go higher. Okay, so $72,000. So I converted into INR, which sums up to 53 lakh rupees per year. Okay, so now I want to know again, how are you, like, who are interested in app development, Android development? Come on, guys, I'm waiting for your comments. Did it motivate you? Acha, okay. So yes. I know you are interested. So let me proceed. Hold on a second. However, the fact that you're creating your own app, then using it. People download the app from Play Store, you create your own app. Isn't that exciting? Anyway, so without wasting any more time, let me jump right into the presentation. Okay. So application development has three architectures, Android, iOS, and now new phones are coming with Linux also. So now where in which infrastructure do you want to develop your apps? Depends. So in India, most of the people uses Android, but that should not be a reason to stop making apps for iOS. Okay. So anyway, let's continue the discussion. So for creating apps in Android, the languages you need are Java or Kotlin. Kotlin is basically the official language preferred by Google. So Google developers prefer Kotlin as an official language. But then Java has also like a huge popularity. So you can also go with Java. And I saw some of them have learned Java as a programming language in the chats yesterday. Okay, so yeah, added benefits to them. So next come for iOS. Okay, so Swift is a language which you can use to make iOS apps. Uh, I know you are excited, maybe commenting, maybe you have some comments, but I cannot read it because I'm sharing the screen. So all the questions, please put in the comment section after I have completed the discussion. Okay, anyway. So there's one more framework, Flutter. So Flutter is a framework where you can create both Android and iOS apps. And for Flutter, it's a framework, not a language. The language used in Flutter is Dart. Okay. And interesting fact. Okay. In Flutter, you can not only create just Android apps or iOS apps, you can also create web applications. Websites. You mean, and also Linux applications in Flutter. So see, Flutter is one for all. But don't think that Flutter is like ultimate. It's better than other apps. Okay. So now I will prove you that Flutter is if even though Flutter you can create multiple apps at the same time, but you can go with native app development also. So by native apps I mean is creating apps just for Android or just for iOS. While hybrid application like frameworks such as Flutter, you can create multiple things at the same time. I have mentioned some pros and cons, but other than this, okay, I will like to give you some real life examples. You have heard about open source, I guess. So open source is a platform where anyone can contribute. The code base is uploaded online, so you can go there and collect the code and then update your changes. Okay. So basically, if you want to contribute in open source, if you want to know more about open source, you can directly contact me anyway. So yeah. So if you want to contribute to open source, there most of the people okay use native application development, native applications. So if you have already learned hybrid app developments, hybrid app infrastructure such as Flutter, then making native apps would be a problem for you, isn't it? So like most of the apps are created in native applications. But then you have heard about Dream 11, I guess. Dream 11 was created in Flutter. Okay. Now learning Flutter has own advantages too. So suppose you want to go in a hackathon. So there you have to deploy your app in both iOS and also in Android. So there going with the native app is does not give you an advantage. Going with hybrid app will give you an advantage. So now which app, which architecture you want to go with is up to your call. You may either go with native app development, creating apps for particular software, particular architecture, I mean either Android or iOS, or you can go with hybrid, creating multiple at a time. But both has its pros and cons. I have mentioned during the slides, and I will put the slides after the. I'll share the slides in the WhatsApp group after the event is over. Now, suppose you want to go with native applications. Okay, so which do you want to choose, Android or iOS? Okay, this is the question. So in India, if you want to go with Android development, I'm Android developer in person. Okay, so I get to test with more people because most of them are Android. But of course, that does not stop you from making Android iOS apps. But one more interesting feature, okay, which will I guess people will go with Android development more because of this is if you want to deploy your app, then for maintenance and all the other stuff, you have to pay to play Google for a one-time fee of $25. Okay, but to do the same in iOS, you have to pay annually of $99. So yeah, iOS is a little bit expensive. So yeah, okay, so let's talk about prerequisites of Android development. So the most important prerequisite is learning a language. So I mentioned some of the language in the previous slides. So it totally depends on you which language you want to go with: Java, Kotlin, or Dart, or Swift. Yeah, so it's totally depends on you. So take one particular language, okay, and then start learning it properly. Then you will need object-oriented programming. You know, in programming, you might have heard about functions, but there's something also called classes. Okay, and then we have objects in classes. So yeah, you once you enter the field of programming, you enter the field of language, you will get to know about this. Okay, and then you need little bit of data structure and algorithm, like sorting, arrays. You might have heard of arrays. You might have heard about vectors. Okay, so little bit knowledge about this, and then you can jump to Android development. You don't have to be like complete knowledge about data structure and algorithm. Data structure and algorithm in itself is a big thing. Okay, so just a little bit overview. Then you can jump into Android development and then do data structure and algorithm side by side with it. So now, okay, like how like we do in coding and in what happens in real coding. Okay, so how does the code interface looks like? So this is the slide in front of you. Um, so yeah, earlier, like a little bit earlier, Gopali said that in front end development, in web development, we have a front end and a back end. Same is the case with Android development. We have something interface, user interface UI, which people uses, and everything happens in the back end. The logic happens in the back side of the, I mean, in code. Okay, it's the code base. So .xml file, the left side of the I mean the presentation. Okay, the slide. You can see this is the front end where we can add buttons. Okay, add location position of buttons. We can position of a container box. Okay, a position of a rectangle we want to put in our mobile application. Okay, this is the left side of the XML. You can see here all the designing part is done. Okay. For the logic building, I mean the application. Okay, the language you need is for logic. Main language you need is for logic. Okay. So what happens when you click a certain button, and what will happen if you swipe up or some other function you do? Okay. So this is everything is controlled by Java. I mean the logic part is controlled with the help of Java. I know Java, so I put Java, but you can use any other languages according to your preference. So now next, okay, huh? After learning a little bit of app development, first you will create is what everybody does is create a single screen app. Single screen app in the example if I give you is a calculator say. Okay, so every all the functions and everything happens in one screen only without going redirecting to other page. Okay, this is first what you will learn. Okay. After that, you will increase your, advance your capabilities of learnings. Okay, and then try to make multi-screen apps, so, such as when you click something, then it will redirect to the other pages. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah. So when you click some button, it will redirect to other pages. Okay, this is a multi-screen app. After that, you will go with networking. So networking basically means connecting your phone to the Android. So, I mean to the cloud. I mean to the internet, of course. So what happens there is you make API calls. So in API call, how can I explain API is? Yeah, basically requesting data from a website and then the website is giving back you the data. Okay, this is what API is in general. So suppose you want to make an app which shows the data of earthquakes that happened earlier. Suppose example. Okay. So you connect to the internet, make an API call, and the website gives you the information how and where the earthquake happened. Okay, and all the information is displayed in your phone. So networking, so connecting your phone to the internet. Okay. After that, okay. So after learning the front end, back end, and creating these kind of apps, okay, you can jump to data storage. Hmm. Now, for a perfect example would be Instagram, Facebook, and such kind of applications. Okay, where you upload photos, the photos are saved. Okay, the storage part is done in that region. Um, so data storage can be divided in further subcategories I mentioned here. Okay, the most common which is like in a layman language we will understand is file storage. So storing the files in your personal phone or in your SD card or in your memory. There are also shared preferences. Shared preferences mean suppose you upload a photo on Instagram and then people likes and share a photo. So this is shared preference. Okay. After learning how to use data storage or DBM systems, okay, you can go with advanced Android development. Everything is advanced. Okay, so initially you learned creating a calculator. Okay, so that was advancement for you. Then you learned creating a multi-screen app. That's again advantage for you. Okay, then you learn creating a app that connects to internet. This again is an advantage for you. So advanced Android development. Okay, so what you learn today, okay, what you think that this will be advantage, advanced Android development for now. So tomorrow it might be like basic Android development. Okay. So initially, if you start with a calculator, the calculator may seem to be an advanced Android development, kind of following that kind of architecture. But then when you know to make calculator, the calculator will be a basic Android development for you. So yeah, keep on practicing, keep on doing. Okay. So don't come out of tutorial hell. Okay, so this has a big meaning. Like I will provide resources later on. Okay, so there are video lectures. There are books also. Okay, yeah. So don't just keep watching videos or don't just keep reading books. Okay. So to be a pro level of Android developer, you must put your hands. You must make your hand dirty. Okay, come to the field. Do actual real life coding. So tutorial hell means don't just keep on watching the videos and not doing hard coding. Okay, so try to implement what you have learned from the videos tutorials. So yeah, next comes this deployment. Okay, so you can deploy your Android app because I'm an Android developer, so I stays here Play Store. Okay, so you can deploy your apps in Play Store, and as far as I know, for 1,000 downloads, you will get some amount from Google. Okay, and it's a good amount. So you can start earning from college days also. Yeah, after you know that you are like a good level of Android developer, you can apply for associate Android developer, which will make you certified Android developer. It's a course in Google, and then it has a lot of value. Okay, if you think that you can crack it, so you can go for associate Android developer. It takes some fees, I think around 6,000 rupees, and you can get two attempts. And if you pass it, then you will be certified Android developer. Without this also it will work. I mean, I'm not saying that it's important. So now next is resources. So where you can learn. Okay, so there's some resources, Udacity and other resources. I will not go deep into this. Okay, so I will just upload the PPT after that presentation is done. Okay, so then you can go through it. Okay, these are some other free resources. This is also resources I've added. Okay, you can go through it properly later on. Okay. So yeah, most important fact, laptop. Okay, you need a good laptop for Android development. Okay, because the architectures are heavy. Hmm. So nowadays the software is more optimized, so it will run all laptops. But earlier, people would say that you can boil eggs on your computer if you start Android Studio. Android Studio is a architecture where you build Android apps. Okay, so yeah, that's funny. So yeah, basic requirement is you need 8 GB RAM. That's a must. Okay, that's a must. 8 GB RAM is a must. Then, but you can also upgrade it if you have like that amount of resources. So you can go with 16 GB of RAM or higher. Okay. Processor recommended is i5 9 generation, but nowadays i3 10 generation is also powerful. Okay, i3 10 generation also can aram se do your stuff. Okay. Best choice i7 11 generation. Okay. So graphics card, though not mandatory, but you can still keep it. Graphics card. You can also play games from sometimes. But yeah, graphics card add helps you to boost the performance. Okay. Operating system always. Okay. We generally use Windows. I also use Windows, but Linux is considered the leading operating system for Android development. Android was developed in Linux. Okay. So now, thank you. That's it for presentation. Now I have made a horrible ending page. So anyway, sorry for that. So for queries, you can please call me this number. Okay. So if any doubts, you can definitely ask in the comment section. With this, I'd like to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arindam. So here also we see that there are many points to be taken with us, like practicing, getting your hands dirty. So without further ado, I would like to call Rishikesh.
Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me share my screen. Guys, I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. Most welcome to the juniors to our coding club. I am Rishikesh Devi, AEC Coding Club's web dev wing moderator, and I'll be presenting before you a short roadmap for DSA and competitive programming. So let's go for it. So what is DSA? DSA is actually data structure algorithm. Let's go and explore what is data structure. We know that this World Wide Web, the internet is full.
Rishikesh, just a second.
Please.
Paitapratim Das, can you please mute your microphone? Yeah, Rishikesh, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, that we know that internet is full of information. Internet has a humongous amount of information, and in the world of programming, we actually deal with this information. So to get this information in a proper structured way, we use data structure. This data structure help us to structure the all the information that is available in the internet, and algorithms refers to the some certain sets of rules and instructions following which a program has to work. Algorithms takes the data structure and that works the program as the algorithm says. And here are a few examples of data structure. You will all come across this when you learn a programming language and then learn DSA. You will all come across this integer, float, characters are the basics. And then comes arrays, linked lists, and all. You will all get this when you start learning a programming language and then a DSA. And now all of you must have heard it, like when you go and search in YouTube, like roadmap for getting into Google, roadmap for getting into Facebook. All of you must have come across this term DSA. So why DSA is important? Well, DSA is important because it is asked in every coding interviews. Every big companies coding interviews, they give you DSA problems to solve. So it's a must if you want to get into Google, Facebook, or any other companies. Even those of you who are in non-tech branches like mechanical, civil, and if you also want to sit in IT sector interviews, you also learn DSA. And as a from the coding perspective, DSA is important because it helps you to reduce the time complexity of a code. In real life cases, DSA is used by Facebook, by YouTube. In Facebook, you get mutual friends as suggestions that there is a DSA behind it. There is an algorithm behind it. They collect the data, they make an algorithm and present you mutual friends. They present you recommended videos on Facebook, on YouTube. This is all because of DSA. So this was the real life example of DSA. Now let me introduce you to competitive programming. Competitive programming is like a sport in the field of coding where you are given some problems from some problem situations, and for that you need to develop a solution. Uh, the one that is fast actually wins, something like that. And like whether you, like CP is not like very mandatory. Should you start CP or not? If you ask me that question, I would say that explore the internet, solve coding problems. If you like solving problems through coding, then definitely go for CP. Otherwise, don't just simply start off with it because it sounds cool. Otherwise, if you lose your interest, you will leave in midway and learn very less. So next, what is needed for CP? For CP, if you want to do CP, first learn a language, then step by step learn the everything that is inside the language. Learn Then you can open your accounts in various coding sites like HackerRank, HackerArt. They give you problems, you need to solve them. You also get stars. You can show them off in websites like LinkedIn and all. Then learn DSA, and then just be consistent with it. DSA is mandatory in every IT sector interview. So like DSA and CP is like side by side, but then CP is not like mandatory. Okay, like if you learn DSA, it's not mandatory that you have to also do CP. You can skip CP and keep on going with DSA also. So at last, here are a few resources. You'll be given these resources later. You'll be given these presentations later on. There are these websites that give you problems to solve. Here are some books, very good books for learning DSA, for learning coding, and some video courses also are given. Please go through this after we complete our orientation program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rishikesh.
Yeah,
Next
thank
up,
you.
I would like to call Prayash.
Okay. So, okay, let's see. So, hello everyone, everyone of the juniors who are joining us today for the event. I am the MLing moderator Prayas Pawan Sarmavara, and I will be going through the what, why, and how of machine learning. So, in the presentation is divided into four parts. Firstly, what's all the what's associated with machine learning, and then followed by why's and how, and finally the resources. So, let's first see what is machine learning. We all know that human learns from their past experiences and their encounters which they have in the past, whereas machines since follow instructions which are given to them. But what if human could teach the machines how to learn from their past experiences? Exactly this train of thought was behind the rise of machine learning. So, in common names, we can say that machine learning is the field of study that gives the computers the ability to learn without explicitly being programmed. In traditional programming, we give to the computer some data and a program and it will spit out the output. Whereas in machine learning, we'll give the data and the output, whereas it will spit out the program. Thereby, it is somewhat different than traditional programming. Then let us go through an example of a common machine learning.
So that's Paul. He loves listening to new songs. He either likes them or dislikes them. Paul decides this on the basis of the song's tempo, genre, intensity, and the gender of voice. For simplicity, let's just use tempo and intensity for now. So here, tempo is on the x-axis, ranging from relaxed to fast, whereas intensity is on the y-axis, ranging from light to soaring. We see that Paul likes the song with fast tempo and soaring intensity, while he dislikes the song with relaxed tempo and light intensity. So now we know Paul's choices. Let's say Paul listens to a new song. Let's name it as Song A. Song A has fast tempo and a soaring intensity, so it lies somewhere here. Looking at the data, can you guess whether Paul will like the song or not? Correct. So Paul likes this song. By looking at Paul's past choices, we were able to classify the unknown song very easily, right? Let's say now Paul listens to a new song. Let's label it as Song B. So Song B lies somewhere here with medium tempo and medium intensity. Neither relaxed nor fast, neither light nor soaring. Now can you guess whether Paul likes it or not? Not able to guess whether Paul will like it or dislike it? Are the choices unclear? Correct. We could easily classify song A. But when the choice became complicated, as in the case of song B, yes, and that's where machine learning comes in. Let's see how. In the same example, for song B, if we draw a circle around the song B, we see that there are 4 votes for like, whereas 1 vote for dislike. If we go for the majority votes, we can say that Paul will definitely like the song. That's all. This was a basic machine learning algorithm also. It's called k-nearest neighbor.
Okay, then as you've seen, this is an example of a very simple machine learning algorithm. The next Let's go through over some of the common terms associated in the machine learning field. These are machine learning, AI, and deep learning. Most people unknowingly use these terms interchangeably, but there is a certain difference which lies between them. Firstly, the biggest of them is the AI. What is AI? AI is a technique that enables computer to mimic human intelligence. It doesn't mean that it has the capabilities to self-learn, as in the case with machine learning. It can be using the simple conditional statements. Okay, then what is our then discover the machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. It is a part of AI which can improve its functionality with experience. Therefore, that is the distinction that lies between AI and ML. Finally, deep learning. Deep learning is a sub-branch of machine learning, which permits the software to train itself without needing human intervention. Then next. Now, what you see, what is machine learning and what are associated terms? Let's see why you should learn machine learning and why is machine learning popular. Firstly, as Plato has said, necessity is the mother of all invention. So there is certainly many necessities for machine learning. The biggest and one of the biggest contributor is the fact that humans by nature are lazy. They want they even ask. We also want that we have less amount of work to do. We want our life to be much more easier without giving much more time to doing work, so we can have more free time. So ability to automate various tasks makes is a compelling reason for the growth of machine learning. Such as examples include recognizing handwritten characters. Then also, so machine learning is also used for deriving various as conclusions and patterns from large amount of data, that is data mining. For example, it is used in market analysis. And also, as you have used, you are already obviously using various services like Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and also some of you might have used TikTok in the past. You've seen that once you start using the service, after a few of the videos or shows you watch, it will start recommending you the series which are almost to your own liking, almost to your liking, without much without much issues. So most okay. Then also even for TikTok, the algorithm which was used by it was it's a very big factor for its popularity. Yes, you can just you can start watching it, and for hours and hours you will be absorbed into it without finding anything that is not of your taste. Then next thing will be that some tasks which are very hard to be hard coded into a program, such as image recognition and voice recognition, are very easily can very easily be implemented using ML. And also, research opportunities are very high in the field of machine learning. Yeah, if any of you are interested in going into the research and development sector, then machine learning is a must for you, as it provides various opportunities in that sector. Then let's just see why you should be interested in machine learning. Now let's see how to get into it. Okay. First, as machine learning is a part of programming, so naturally you need to select a language for your machine learning career. So machine learning is not much dependent on a language, it's pretty much language independent. You can use any language for machine learning, but there are certainly some languages which have more resources, more libraries, and are much more optimized for machine learning. And the most famous among them are Python and R. We'll personally recommend you Python, as it is a universal language. You can use it for many different functions, and almost all sectors Python is used. So even if you want to learn something else or want to change your main priority, you can always use Python for the new line where you are interested. After that, mathematics. Truth to be told, machine learning is more about mathematics than actual about code. Once you truly dive deep into machine learning, mathematics will be a very important part of it. You cannot grow beyond a certain level without having proper mathematics. So, while beginning having certain preliminary knowledge of some mathematics, some sections of mathematics will be very useful to you, such as linear algebra, simple statistics, and basic calculus. After that, once you're done with mathematics, next thing will be the data handling part. If you're using Python, there are certain some libraries for Python libraries for data handling like pandas and numpy, which will make your life very much easier for while you're dealing with a large amount of data for your projects. After that, when you have handled the data, the next thing will be the visualization. For the data visual is a very key and an important part of the process of machine learning. That once you have visualized the data in graphical sense, you can to get various inference and various extract various pattern the data which are not necessarily possible when it is in text format. So after data visualization, next part we will be learning the core, finally learning the core ML algorithm. This is the part where we basically will be starting the algorithm, machine learning algorithm per se. There are certain popular and common algorithms which you should invest time to learn properly and get an idea how they actually work and how they work under the hood and using mathematics, etc. So some most common them include gradient descent, slope, supervised and unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, basic linear regression, etc. Once you're done with the core ML algorithm, you should invest your time in learning deep learning. This is the sixth step in the roadmap machine learning. Deep learning is very different from the algorithms which are mentioned in the past. In deep learning is all about neural networks. After deep learning, you will have completed your basics for you have touched almost most of the fields of machine learning. Now the next thing will be that starting your own projects. No matter how many tutorials you follow, courses you do, how many projects you have followed from YouTube, you cannot never master a topic unless you start something on your own. When you will have your own doubts, own queries, and you will learn to troubleshoot, then that is the time phase when you will actually learn what you have done. You will actually means able to absorb all the knowledge that you have been. Then this is the last step. Then after that, let's go to the resources. If you are most of you are just a beginner program, so you have not yet started. So most of you haven't even started with a language. So if you want to start with Python, and if you are a guy who prefers books, then these are some of the books which we have personally used that are also some of the better books. This include Learn Python through the Hard Way and a volume 2 of the same book, the Learn More Python through the Hard Way. These two books are just very good for beginner level. They are in a very simple language. It feels almost like reading a novel rather than a programming documentation book. And also, if you have some previous programming knowledge with different language, you can always use a Byte of Python. It's a very concise book, but it goes through almost of the important parts. After this, for courses, if you prefer a well-structured course for learning something, then using Python for research on edX or Python for everybody specialized on Coursera are also very good. And if you don't want to invest too much time and focus too much on the, you want just a crash course type feeling, you can always go with this programming, this following channels. They have some crash course type videos of 6 hours, 10 hours, etc. This include programming with Mosh, coding with Harry, and free code camp. And finally, for machine learning, some of the good books include hands-on machine learning and with Scikit-learn, KS, and TensorFlow, machine learning for absolute beginners, a plain English introduction, machine learning in Python and R for dummies. And for well-structured course, these two are the courses which are used by me by personally and most of our seniors also. They include machine learning by Andrew Ng on Coursera and deep learning specialization by Andrew Ng on Coursera. And also, you can follow this YouTube channel called StarQuest with Search Timer. It shows various ML projects and small ML concepts in a very simple way, which will be very much useful for somebody starting with a field to understand. Finally, thank you everyone for bearing with the presentation. And I am Prayas Pansarabara, MLE moderator. You can contact me on this number. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prayash. I hope you are all taking screenshots and mental notes what everyone has said. There is something or the other to be noted. So next up, I would like to call Rushabh.
Thank you so much, Maina. Am I audible?
Yes, Rushabh, you are.
Yeah, first of all, could we actually have a round of applause for Maina for being such a good host? Yeah,
Thank you so much.
so
So sweet.
yeah, yeah. So I am. My name is Rushabh Gogoi. I am a fifth semester student from the Department of Computer Science, and basically I am in the graphic design and content team for the Coding Club. But today I will be here as your game development wing moderator. So first of all, I would like to ask before I go into my presentation, I would like to ask that all of us have played some games, right? Like either we play games or have played games in the past in some form or way, right? So So yeah, I think that if even though this is a very actually a very new topic, and most probably we have started this from this year actually. So the game development wing, I will today I'll in my presentation I'll just be talking to you on some basics of game development. I will not go into the full details, but yeah, I will just go into some basics of game development. So is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes.
Russell.
Yeah. So yeah. So what is game development basically? It's very simple, right? Basically, it's the developing a game. But like, if I tell you to develop a game, you will actually find it very difficult. If I'm honest, to develop a game out of scratch. So basically, what does a video game consist of? It consists of many characters. Then like you need to have a storyline, right? And like then you need to have some basic, I guess, movement of the characters, and you have to create an environment, and you have to create some like goals and achievements in the game, and many such sort of things. You all know what games are, right? So basically, video game development is the development of such games. So first of all, I would like to just briefly talk to you about some types of games. So first, we have sandbox games, which are basically like they are within a map. You're given a certain map, and then you are given a lot of creativity on how to like achieve some of the goals that game actually tells you to achieve. So basically, sandbox games give you a lot of creative like freedom. Then real-time strategy games is like some of the games which you play against other players. Like they make a move and then you make a move. Basically chess, you can say sort of chess, but like in a real-time strategy mode. And obviously we have shooters like Valorant, CS:GO. We all know those are, I guess, one of the most popular games, first person, third person. Then multiple online battle arena or MOBA games. Then role-playing games, simulation games, and sport games, puzzle and party games, action adventure games, which actually are more focused on like heavy storyline focused games. We have survival games nowadays, which are also a very popular trend, and then basically platformer games, which are like basically like Mario, which are basically 2D games sort of. Yeah. So the first in the basics of making a game, like how do you actually begin making a game? Like Arindam said, like for Android development, like we need Flutter, and for like we will also need like Jupyter Notebook for something. So we need a basic game engine to develop our game. So there are many game engines like Unreal Engine, Unity, Rockstar Engine, and most of the big companies have their own engines. So basically, the difference in the engine is just that the characteristics of the game will change a bit, I guess. But mostly, the engine is basically a software framework, which is mainly used for designing and the development of the games, right? It'll have a lot of like libraries and support programs, which will make it easier for you, a developer, to actually create, suppose, like an object or create an environment in the game. I personally use the Unreal Engine, and all of the projects I have done are from the Unreal Engine. It's actually free, so I guess all of you can download Unreal Engine too. So now, I know even though this is the coding club and all of you must be interested in coding, but there could be someone who might be interested in like the design stuff and all also, right? So the game development has basically three main parts, I would say. Like first is the game art. Okay, so basically it's basically like graphic design but in the game world. So you can design the characters. It doesn't have to be a character. You can actually simply design like a car, a tree, a river, a mountain, whatever you can possibly imagine, you can design in a game, right? That is the freedom the game gives you, right? You can imagine anything in the world and you can design it. So basically that is what the job a game artist does. And some basic programs you can use for game art is like Blender, which is actually very popular. Then Dragon Balls and Spine are mainly for 2D work, but Blender is for 3D, best 3D design, game art design application. Okay. Then comes the programming, basically, which is the main like we call it getting our hands dirty, right? So basically the back end of the game, right? So suppose we will decide like how will if I press spacebar, then the character has to jump, right? So how far will the character jump, and how will the objects move, right? And all of that has to be sort of like a program. How will a particular object react to something we do, like in the environment? Like so, how can we make the game more like real life type? So all of those things come in the programming part, and yeah, like even like suppose we have a multiplayer game, then how will the multiplayer game work, and all of that comes in the programming part itself. And one of the best places to learn that is from Game Code School. They actually teach you from the basics of game design. which is like very good. So even though you're a beginner, you don't have to worry. You can easily go and just check out this website, Game Code School, and you will actually find it very easy to get into game programming in game development. And finally, the game design, okay, which is actually basically one of the most important part. Here you need the most of your imagination actually, right? So in a game, as much as the mechanics and the physics are important, you will also see that basically what makes you attracted to the game, right? It is basically the storyline, right? And the need to like finish the game comes from the storyline, and even like the characters. You need to have a character with some personality, and like the interaction between characters and all that. How will they talk to each other? The visual effects and the audio effects, and all of that comes under game design. Basically, you are making the main spine of the game, right? And from that, the other things will evolve around the spine. So basically, that is what the game designer does. So now I would like to tell you like the basic 7 steps in game development. Okay, the first step is simple: the planning. Basically, you will decide on what you are basically making, who will be your audience, and what is your like budget and all that. That is basically the planning part. Then comes like the pre-production part. Basically, the first of the storytelling, the storyline and all that. You will introduce the storyline, the characters and all. And basically, yeah, that is the starting of the pre-production part. Then comes the production part, which probably takes the most time, where you are actually making the game. Then here all the physics of the game, like how the players move, they jump, they move around, all the elements of the game, the damaging elements, the healing elements, whatever your game is, all the main production part comes under the game only. And yeah, then you have to also render the graphics and the audio and the visuals and all that comes under the production part. Then comes the testing part, which is like first of all you have to like before releasing the game, definitely you need to test the game, right? So you can identify the bugs in the game, and then what are the changes required. All of that comes under the testing part only. And I guess yeah, your game has to be some unique, right? So what are the features of the game? All of that comes under the testing part. Then comes the pre-launch part where like the alpha and beta versions of the game, the not the main version, the previous version of the game are released to some select few people, and you are take their feedbacks and on how actually the game is and what changes are required. You see whether the game is actually interesting or not to play, right? Whether the game is too difficult to play and all that things. Then finally comes the launch part, which is not the developer's main focus. Actually, the launch part is like obviously you will need to fix a lot of bugs, okay, the problems which will take place after the game is launched. But like the PR team needs to be very good at marketing and how it's like the visual, the video and all that, the trailer videos and all that comes at the launch part. And finally the post production part, which is like after the game is launched, there will still be a lot of bugs and glitches, I guess, in the game. So slowly, step by step, you need to fix those bugs, and then definitely you need new content for player to keep the players engaged in the game, right? So that is also in the post production part, and then like basically new content. And again, like suppose after some time, definitely there will be new technology, right? So how can you make your game like inculcate those new technologies? So you'll need some patches and all that will all come in the post production part. So finally, I would like to tell you some of the resources that I had gathered throughout like the past 2 years since I started game development. Basically, I'm telling you the best teacher is YouTube for I guess everything. Even for our school studies or the exam studies, we always go to YouTube, right? So some of these are the YouTubers which I think you need to definitely follow if you're into game design. Unreal Sensei is basically the guy who teaches Unreal Engine mostly, but these other YouTubers are teaching like all other different kinds of like engines and all. Cherno is actually basically C++ developer, and he is a game developer from Ubisoft, right? Then I would also like you to like follow some of these blogs like Gamer Sutra, Juego Studios blog, GameDev.net, Games from Scratch. You'll get to know like a lot of special effects or things like some of these bloggers post. Like they are like some very top notch like people working in high end companies. They also post in these blogs. So definitely you can go through these blogs. Then you can find these courses, actually online courses on Udemy and Coursera, which will actually give you like a boost, right, on learning game development. So these are some people who are working in like the big companies, and they have these courses. So you can I will share the link afterwards, obviously in the WhatsApp group. But like these are just some of the names of the courses. And then finally, I would like you to like follow these main like gaming companies on Twitter. Okay, so like what happens is that since most of these things is digital, right? So you can obviously get the required material and whatever they are doing from the internet. So you can keep up to date. So basically, whatever they are doing in the big companies, you can also do just from sitting in a laptop at home, right? So definitely, you need to keep up to date and know what are the trends and what is like popular right now. So then you need to follow these developers on like Twitter. So yeah, that was basically the end of my presentation. I'm Rusha Gogoi, and you can contact me here anytime. And if you have any doubts, or if you would like to like make a project together, we can definitely make a project together sometime. Or I can even teach you like some basics of game development someday. So you can definitely message me. I'm once again I'm Rusha Gogoi. I'm from the Computer Science Department, fifth semester. And yeah, you can contact me in the contact in your screen now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rishabh. Well, so it was game development. I hope you found it interesting. Can you comment on that? Regarding the questions and doubts you have, we will shortly tend to it. Yes, game development. There is one PUBG, right? So famous. Well, anyways, we are coming to an end, but before that, Kostav, our president, has something to tell you guys. Just 5 minutes or so, okay? And we are really thankful you made till here. It's almost 1.5 hours. You guys are so patient, so lovely. Thank you so much. Now, please, Kostav, can we please have you here?
Yeah, thank you, Mehna. I guess I'm audible.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, hello everyone. I guess you have enjoyed whatever our respective moderators have given you throughout this session. I hope the insights that they have given through in the various fields of programming, you have found it very factful. Hopefully, these are going to help you in guiding you towards the correct way of learning the things. So, I just want to, let you know about our future schedule for the freshers. The coding club is planning to have some events so that you are familiar with the uh, programming aspects of every field. Let me present my screen. I hope my screen is visible, right? May I have a
Yes,
nod? Is
Kostav.
my screen visible? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, so AEC Coding Club is going to organize a session on C and C++ programming so that all the freshers, all the newcomers to the sound engineering course gets familiar with the programming languages. C is in your syllabus so that everyone must learn C programming in your first year itself. So therefore, we are planning to organize a session where our respective moderators will be teaching you the basics of the programming in C or C++ as preferred. In the month of December, we are also planning to have a session on web development so that the front end and the back end part of web development is taught, and every student that you are interested in web development can enjoy the sessions and learn according to their needs. In the month of January, we are planning to host a hackathon on the basis of web development because we are going to have the session in December. You guys will be familiar with web development. Therefore, in January, we will be having a separate hackathon for the first year students itself. In the month of February, we will be having a session on open source and also on competitive programming. As these months are important for the ZSOC, that is Google Summer of Code, the applications are going to open in the month of March itself. Therefore, we just want to give you a brief about open source contributions in the month of February itself. I hope we can get maximum participation in all the events. It is just a brief of the upcoming 4 months, but we will be having many more events in the midst of these events as well. So I hope everyone is excited, and I want you all to participate in every aspects of these schedules. Thank you. regarding the Q&A part of it, we are just getting forward to it. We will be having your questions now. We'll be solving your queries. But before moving on to the Q&A part, let me give you a brief about the membership of AEC Coding Club. The AEC Coding Club is a prestigious club that has been found in back in 2015, and we have been performing in the field of programming for all the AECNs. Okay, this is a new year, new tenure, and you all guys are excited to join the club as we have seen your enthusiasm back in the WhatsApp group and in the orientation program. Okay, so the membership, many of the students were asking about the membership and how we can be a permanent member of the AEC Coding Club. So I just want to inform you that the membership form for the AEC Coding Club will be released tonight itself. It will be released at 9 p.m. so that after the session ends, you can go through the official website of AEC Coding Club. Then there you will be having a button called Join Us in the left bottom corner. So you can click on the button and then get yourself registered as a permanent member of AEC Coding Club. All the details regarding the membership is already available in the form itself. If you have any queries, you can definitely get back to us in the WhatsApp group, or you can DM us, DM any of the admins of your respective groups. I hope that's clear. If you guys have any questions, you can now put forward your questions.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask, what programming language should I learn now? I am a complete beginner. I don't know anything about coding right now. So, which should be better?
Rituraj, right?
Yes, yes.
So I just want to know from today's session, what is the thing that has interested you more?
Yes, I would
Is it
like to
web
go for
development?
Android development.
Okay, as you have said, you wanted to go for Android development. So the basic languages, as Arindam has already informed, for the basic Android development, the native Android development, Java is a preferred language. Although there are many languages that are being used nowadays, like Dart or something, but Java is a primary language. So if you are really interested in going through Android development, then I guess Java would be a better language to start with.
Okay, thank you. One more thing I'd like to ask.
Sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Rituras, go ahead.
Yes, from placement point of view, is there any means post or something like that that the companies come for, like we will hire only for web development or for Android development?
There are different aspects of hiring processes that takes place. There are webinars, sorry, there are hackathons that takes place to hire specific developers for Android, iOS, and the web development. But the main focus is always on the data structure and algorithm part, as we have mentioned earlier. That is a must. But if the roles are specific, that is Android development, web development, and iOS development, yes, there are specific roles. So there are companies which are going to come to take specific placements on those kind of fields. So yeah, you can definitely go for any of the specific fields as you want.
And like Android development, if I try Android development, I can be Android developer. I can make apps, and also, if I try for competitive coding, I means didn't understand the concept of competitive programming. Means it will help me in building apps, or it is a completely different department or something like that.
Competitive programming is a different aspect of coding actually. So once you learn a language, as you are interested in Android development, you are going to learn Java. Okay. So after learning Java, you need to learn data structures and algorithms of Java. Okay, so once you learn data structure and algorithm, competitive programming is a field of sport. It's a sport. It's a sport of programming where you will be given some specific problems, you'll be given some twisted problems. It's like an examination of ZW Advanced, where it is not necessary that you need to appear for ZW Advanced, but it is good if you appear. So this is a type of thing where it comes to competitive programming. You need to have the knowledge of data structures and algorithms for making any applications, because applications they tend to have some specific requirements. But it is not necessary to learn competitive programming or go for competitive programming, as it is a sport thing. It's not compulsory to learn. I guess it's clear now to us.
Yes, yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a question.
Sure, go for it.
Um, is competitive programming really required to land a job in MNCs? And what are the advantages and benefits of competitive programming?
Recon, are you there?
Yeah,
Can
I
you please
would like
answer
to
it?
answer that. Yeah. Actually, see, competitive programming is not a must for getting jobs in for a developer role, but it is good. Like it will open up to you a lot of opportunities. But this is not the only way. There are different ways, like open source. You can contribute to open source projects by doing web development or Android development. So competitive programming is not must, but surely having good competitive programming ratings, it will help you to get more opportunities. But this is not must, I would like to say. But yes, problem solving in data structure and all algorithms, this is must for getting good jobs. So DSA is must, but competitive programming is up to you whether you like it or not. Do go explore it. If you don't like it, just leave and shift to development. If you like it, then continue with it. So yeah, I guess your doubt is clear, Titankar.
Yes, that. And I had another question, if I can.
Yeah, go for
Go
it.
ahead.
Um, can you please emphasize on open source?
Oh yeah. So basically, what open source is, you are as uh, everyone presented, like web development, Android development. So open source is like you are means there are various projects which are hosted over the web, which are not created by any companies. Like for example, all of you use a Chrome browser, right? So Chrome browser is created by Google. So only the Google developers work on the Chrome browser. But there is another version of Chrome browser which is known as Chromium. So even you, if you know what languages are used to create Chromium, you can go and contribute to their code. So it's open for everyone. So that is what the concept of open source is. So to start open source, beginners cannot actually start with open source. You have to be a little bit know a little bit of development, then you can go with open source. So yeah,
Okay, thank you, that.
welcome.
Hello.
Hello, দাদা।
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead.
মোৰ এটা কুৱেশ্যন আছিলে মানে ৱেব ডেভেলপমেণ্ট ওপৰত।
Yeah, কোৱা।
মানে যদি কোনোবা মানে ক্লাইণ্টে যদি মোক যদি এটা ৱেবছাইট বনাব দিছে, তাক সেইটো মই ৱৰ্ডপ্ৰেছেৰে বনাই দিব লাগে নে নিজে হেণ্ড টাইপ কৰি বনাই দিব লাগে, মানে কোনটো কৰি দিলে মানে তাৰ সুবিধা হৈ যায় মানে?
So that's a question that you need to ask to the client. Okay, এইটো এটা এনেকুৱা এটা হৈ যাব তোমাৰ স্পেচিফিক ৰিকুৱাৰমেণ্টৰ ওপৰত বেছ কৰিব। যদি ক্লায়েণ্টে তোমাৰ প্ৰগ্ৰেমিঙৰ একোৱে নাজানে, প্ৰগ্ৰেমিঙৰ বিষয়ে একো তেওঁৰ আইডিয়া নাই, চ' তেনে ক্ষেত্ৰত ইটছ বেটাৰ টু ইউজ ৱৰ্ডপ্ৰেছ। বাট দ্য কেছ ইজ তেতিয়া তুমি শিকিব নোৱাৰিবা। It will not help you because WordPress is something that is a pre-made platform where you can just drag and drop and the website gets ready. So it's not going to help you anyway. So, but the fact is, most of the clients are not aware of programming. That's why they give you the job. So, সেইকাৰণে তোমালোকে WordPress use কৰিব পাৰা, but that only depends upon the client itself. তেওঁ যদি বিচাৰে, তেওঁ যেনেকৈ বিচাৰে বনাই দিব পাৰা। When it comes to specific websites like school management system or any bank management system, something like that, তাৰ তেনেকুৱা যদি কিবা websites requirements থাকে, তেতিয়া তোমালোকে hard code কৰিও বনাব পাৰা. In that way, you can create a dashboard for the user so that সেই ডেছবৰ্ডখনৰ থ্ৰুৱেদি তেওঁ ইণ্টাৰেক্ট কৰিব পাৰে। তাৰ কাৰণে তুমি খালি মানে it makes your work much harder আৰু
ক্লায়েণ্টেও সেইটো হিচাপত you will not be getting paid that much, and the client might not be able to give you proper compensation for your work, so it's better to use WordPress.
Hello, Dada.
কোৱা ব্ৰ হেল্ল'
Dada, starting with C to Chicago Dual, starting with.
হেল্ল' কোৱাচোন আকৌ কোৱেশ্যনটো
Hello, starting with কোনটো language শিকাটো বেছি ভাল C++, Java নে Python মানে কিবা এটা ফিক্স আছে নেকি যে
নহয় আৰু তুমি তোমাৰ যোনটো মৰ্জি থাকে লেংগুৱেজ সেইটো শিকিব পাৰা বাট দেন আমাৰ কাৰিকুলামত চি আছে যদি ত' আই উড চে ডেট চিৰ পৰা আৰম্ভ কৰা ইফ ইউ আৰ কমপ্লিট বিগিনাৰ দেন
C++ আৰু C ত কিবা চিমিলাৰ আছে নে অলপ বেলেগ হয়
চিমিলাৰিটি বহুতখিনি আছে চি প্লাছ প্লাছ এডভান্স ভাৰ্জন অফ চি ত' তুমি যদি চি প্লাছ প্লাছ শিকা তেতিয়াও হ'ব আৰু মানে নহয় অফক'ৰ্চ নহয় অ'কে বাট ইউ কেন গ' উইথ চি প্লাছ প্লাছ অলছ'
Okay.
Actually, since your curriculum has already embedded the C programming, so you need to have the knowledge of C programming. So it's better to start with C programming. As you go through, you can definitely get the concepts of C++ as well.
Hello, দাদা
Yeah, Rituraj?
দাদা এতিয়া যদি মই জাভা শিকা হৈ গ'ল তে তাৰ নেক্সট ষ্টেপটো মই কি কৰিব মানে কোনটো কৰিলে ভাল হ'ব মই কম্পিটিটিভ কোডিঙত যাওঁ নে নতুন নতুন এপ বনাওঁ নে অপেন চ'ৰ্চত কন্ট্ৰিবিউট কৰোঁ
The first thing is you are in the first year itself, right? So explore every field. Explore every field according to your needs. When you go and explore the fields, then you will get to know that what exactly you need, what exactly excites you the most. When you go for every field and get to know each and every field in details, then you will figure out what you needs to do. Okay, we cannot just tell you that okay, do this and do that, because it completely depends upon your interest. So you'll be having different interests. So once you explore every field, then you can go for the specific fields from second year itself.
দাদা
Yes.
C++ লেংগুৱেজ আৰু জাভা লেংগুৱেজৰ লগত কিবা ৰিলেশ্যন থাকে নে সম্পূৰ্ণ বেলেগ হয় দুইটা
These are two different languages, okay? There are some similarities in C and C++, but I guess there will be little to none similarities when it comes to C++ and Java. So these are, I would say that these are two complete different languages.
That is C relevant at this point of time?
That's a questionable question actually. We can't just directly say that no, C is not relevant at this moment of time. But yeah, when it comes to designing a operating system or designing some games, we may use C programming itself. And C is a base, to be honest, in when it comes to learning programming and everything. So I wouldn't say the C is not relevant at all. But yeah, the usage has been declining, and probably that is the reason why these questions do arise.
হেল্ল' দাদা
Yes, Zebron.
মানে গেম ডেভেলপমেণ্ট আৰু এণ্ড্ৰইড ষ্টুডিঅ'ৰ কাৰণে মিনিমাম কিমান স্পেক্স লাগিব মানে
Rusha, would you like to answer the question?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, so মানে এনেকে মই ডাইৰেক্টলি মিনিমাম স্পেক্স কৰি দিবলৈ দিগদাৰ হ'ব কাৰণে তুমি বেলেগ বেলেগ গেমছৰ কাৰণে তোমাৰ বেলেগ বেলেগ টাইপত লাগিব বেছি চাপ'জ তুমি টুলি বনাই আছা তাৰ কাৰণে তোমাৰ বহুত কম স্পেক্স লাগিব এতিয়া মানে প্ৰগ্ৰেমটো ৰান কৰিবলৈ বাট বেচিকলি আই উড ৰেকমেণ্ড বেচিকলি এন i5 আই গেছ i5 i7 বেচিকলি i5 হ'লে হৈ যায় i3 অকণ প্ৰব্লেম দিব পাৰে তোমাৰ এণ্ড ইট হেজ টু বি আই থিংক মিনিমাম 5th gen আই গেছ এণ্ড দেন তোমাৰ বেচিকলি ৰেম 8 GB মান লাগিব তোমাৰ 4 GB ৰেমত বহুত তোমাৰ প্ৰব্লেম হ'ব মানে লোড হওঁতে বা ৰেণ্ডাৰ হওঁতে And yeah, basically that's it. And tomorrow, obviously, in your memory space, like you were thinking, basic thing, but yeah, I would recommend
কিকষ্টাৰ্ট লাগিব
these
চাগে ন
settings.
দাদা
Yeah, definitely like you. নহ'লে তোমাৰ মানে গেমটো মানে ৰেণ্ডাৰ নহ'ব ভালছে তুমি যেতিয়া বনাব ট্ৰাই কৰা তেতিয়া তোমাৰ অবজেক্ট চবজেক্ট ভালছে ৰেণ্ডাৰ নহ'ব পাৰে সেইটো কাৰণে মই লাগিব
অ'কে থেংক ইউ
The ideal question. What is the ideal time by which you should drop your first scholarship internship? Sorry.
The sooner is the better. If you're getting an internship right away, then it's better. But you need to be specific on what kind of internships you are getting. Okay, there are very nowadays you can find internships everywhere. There will be unpaid internships and all, but in reality, those internships are not going to help you at any cost. Okay, if you are getting an internship from a reputed institution like IITs and NITs, directly through their portals like Spark IIT. So Spark is a program from IIT Roorkee, I guess. So these are the programs that you need to apply for, and if you get internships through those platforms, then it's great for the academic purpose of it. And if you from the second year onwards, you can apply for the various companies. There are very higher opportunities for girls when it compared to boys from the second year. And from the third year onwards, everyone can apply to various companies. And for that, you must have your DSA skills up to the mark, or you have to have your development skills up to the mark.
দাদা দাদা
Yes, yes, yes. Go on.
দাদা মানে মোৰ এটা কুৱেশ্যন আছিল যে মানে মই ফাৰ্ষ্ট ইয়াৰৰ পৰাতো ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপ কৰিব নোৱাৰিম চাগে, মানে ছেকেণ্ড ইয়াৰৰ পৰা পাৰিম ন?
As I have just said that it's not mandatory to তোমালোকে ভাবিব নালাগে যে ফাৰ্ষ্ট ইয়াৰ কৰিব নোৱাৰিম ছেকেণ্ড ইয়াৰৰ পৰাই কৰিব লাগিব. If you get the opportunity and it suits your needs, then you should definitely go for it, even if you are in the first year of college.
দাদা মানে মই ধৰা মানে আমাৰ যিটো ডিফেন্স ৰিচাৰ্চ অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যন আছে DRDO, তাত মই মানে মানে আমাৰ ডাইৰেক্ট ফাৰ্ষ্ট ইয়াৰতে ইণ্টাৰভিউ কৰিব পাৰিম চাগে, মানে কলেজৰ পৰা পাৰ্মিশ্যন ল'ব লাগিব নেকি?
Yeah, DRDO কাৰণে তুমি কলেজৰ পৰা পাৰ্মিশ্যন ল'ব লাগিব, but DRDO is not going to accept the first year graduates for their internships.
Thank you, দাদা.
Yeah, sure.
ফাৰ্ষ্ট ইয়াৰৰ পৰা ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপ কৰিব পৰা তেনেকুৱা কি কি আছে?
As of now, I am not quite aware of all these things. I need to get back and have a deep brief on this. Members, do you have any information regarding the internships for the first semester students?
ফাৰ্ষ্ট ছেমিষ্টাৰ তুমি কেনেকুৱা ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপৰ কথা মানে কেনেকুৱা ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপ কৰিম বুলি ভাবিছা?
জানো
যদি তোমাৰ স্কিল সেট ভাল আছে তেতিয়া কি গুগল ষ্টেপ ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপতে এপ্লাই কৰিব পাৰা। ফাৰ্ষ্ট এণ্ড ছেকেণ্ড ইয়াৰ ষ্টুডেণ্টসকল একচেপ্ট কৰে তাহাঁতি ডাইৰেক্ট গুগলৰ আণ্ডাৰ ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপ হ'ব। গুগল ষ্টেপ ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপ বুলি কয়। তাৰ উপৰিও কিছুমান চাইটছ আছে যেনেকে ইণ্টাৰ্ণ চালা, তাতো চাব পৰা তোমাৰ পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ স্কিল ছেটৰ লগত মেটচ কৰা যদি কিবা পোৱা। মোৰ ফ্ৰেণ্ড কিছুমানৰ এতিয়া ভিডিঅ' এডিটিং বা এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ইণ্টাৰ্ণ কামত চাই আছে। তোমাৰ যদি পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ স্কিল ছেট যিটো তুমি বিচাৰা চাব, তাত যদি মেটচ কৰে তাত চাব পাৰা।
Okay.
দাদা মই এতিয়া চিভিল ব্ৰাঞ্চত আছো, এতিয়া যদি মই ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপৰ কাৰণে ট্ৰাই কৰো এণ্ড্ৰইড ডেভেলপমেণ্ট বা যিকোনো কাৰণে, মোৰ কিবা ডিছএডভান্টেজ থাকিব পাৰে নেকি চিভিল বুলি? মানে কিমান কোম্পানীয়ে এলাউ কৰে আৰু কিমান মানে নকৰে নন চাৰ্টিফিকেট?
Branches are not something that's very important when it comes to development part, okay? So generally, if the role is of specific software development engineer, যদি সেইটো ৰোলত এপ্লাই কৰা, there will be some certain limitations. So company allow নকৰে. But when it comes to development part, Android development or web development specific roles, there are no such বহুত বেছি disadvantage নাথাকে. But yeah, some companies do not prefer to take non-circuitous branches. That's complete discretion to the company itself.
স্পেচিফিক মানে নন স্পেচিফিকো থাকে নেকি? মানে এটা ইণ্টাৰ্ণশ্বিপ ওলাইছে য'ত চব আহিব পাৰে, সেনেকুৱা টাইপৰ থাকে নেকি?
No, actually, that what I mean with specific is that there are two rules actually. One is software development engineer, where the knowledge of every field of software is required. That তোমাৰ data structure primary objective থাকে তেওঁলোকৰ. Your problem solving skills is the main thing. And when I said that go with a specific field, that is specific in the means of machine learning is a specific field, Android development is a specific field. iOS development is a specific field. Some companies require only the iOS developer. Some companies require only machine learning experts. Some companies will be requiring iOS developers. So when those companies require those certain specific requirements, these are called specific requirements. That is what I was referring to.
আৰু যে সফটৱেৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰত মানে গোটেইখিনিৰে অলপ অলপ নলেজ থাকিব লাগিব নেকি?
It's not required to have knowledge of Android development and web development or machine learning as a whole, but you need to be having great problem solving skills to be a software development engineer. So you need to have good grip over DSA in any language, and you need to have the core concepts of computer science, that is computer networks, OOPS, and computer networks, OOPS, and these are some of the basic DBMS one is you have to have the knowledge of these subjects as well.
আৰু লেপটপ স্পেক্সটো মানে কেনেকুৱা হ'লে ভাল হ'ব? কাৰণ মই চিভিলত আছো এতিয়া, অট'কেড বা কিছুমান মই নাজানো কি কি ছফ্টৱেৰ ইউজ হ'ব। আৰু এতিয়া মই এণ্ড্ৰইড ডেভেলপমেণ্ট কৰি আছো, ভিতৰত সোমোৱাৰ পিছত যদি মোৰ লাগে নাই মই মেচিন লাৰ্নিং ভাল লাগিছে, মানে তাতে যাতে
Machine learning is run on cloud. So machine learning are laptop specification, although it requires some good amount of GPU, but generally nowadays the main machine learning algorithm runs in cloud. So you will not be requiring too much things. But I guess it will be better if you have a laptop with a minimum specs of 8 gigs of RAM and i5 8th generation and above, and with an SSD is preferable, or even though if you do not have an SSD, you can go with a hard disk.
মানে দাদা এইখিনি স্পেক্স থাকিলে পিছত যদি মই ভাবো যে নাই মই এইটো ভাল লগা নাই এণ্ড্ৰইড ডেভেলপমেণ্ট মই বেলেগলৈ চুইচ কৰো, তেতিয়া সেই লেপটপটোত সেইখিনিও কৰিব পাৰিম।
Yeah, definitely.
দাদা গেম ডেভেলপমেণ্টত অলপ প্ৰব্লেম হ'ব নেকি এনেকুৱা হ'ল?
See, as Rushabda has already said that okay, it requires specific প্ৰত্যেকটো গেমৰ কাৰণে বেলেগ বেলেগ স্পেচিফিকেশনছৰ দৰকাৰ হয়। So if you are building a high end game and বহুত যদি high graphics inbuilt game থাকে, তেতিয়াতো তোমাৰ কাৰণে 16 gigs of RAM insufficient হৈ যাব। So that depends upon what you are building and what you are planning to do. So তাৰ accordingly তুমি নিজৰ specs খিনি choose কৰিব লাগিব। Okay, so regarding the Q&A session, I just want to update that we will be having on 12 minutes more, so we'll be concluding the session by 9 p.m. So if you have any queries left, then you can just definitely ask.
দাদা ইলেক্ট্ৰনিক্সৰ ষ্টুডেণ্টে ছফ্টৱেৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং জব পাব পাৰেনে?
Okay, so I guess you have missed my introduction. I am Kostov and I am 5th semester electronics and telecommunication engineering department student itself. So yeah, electronics, there is no burden that you cannot get a job in the software sector. Most of the jobs are now interrelated, so it's not dependent on any branch that okay, this guy can, only the CSA guys can get into the software world. Everyone can if they have the correct skill sets to match the company's needs.
ঠিক আছে দাদা।
Zia Noshin has written a question, right? And it just said that he or she wants to purchase a laptop and she wants to. If you are going for a normal programming, see, as I have said, that you just go for a laptop with minimum specifications of 8 gigs of RAM and having a processor that is higher than i5 8th generation, and it will be better if you get an SSD, but it works if you have an hard disk as well. There are no specific we just don't want to go for specific brands or something like that. It's not necessary, just that the minimum specifications shall meet.
দাদা কোৰ চিভিল ব্ৰাঞ্চৰ কাৰণে কেনেকুৱা লেপটপ স্পেক্স লাগিব জানে নেকি? নে অলপ অফ টপিক কোৱেশ্চন এটা সুধিলো।
As I have already said, the minimum specifications are the same. Okay, it doesn't depend on which branch, whatever you are doing. So this means minimum specifications are going to be the same. But if you want to upgrade it, then you can definitely upgrade it. But that's the same for every branch.
মানে দাদা অটোকেডতো গ্ৰাফিক্স কাৰ্ড লাগিব নেকি?
ইফ থাকে তোমালে ভাল হয়, কিন্তু কম্পালচৰি নহয় কি থাকিবই লাগিব। ইভেন তোমাৰ 4 GB ৰেমত আৰু চৰকাৰী যিটো গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট লেপটপ থাকে তাতো ধুনীয়া আছে অটোকেড, আমাৰ লগৰ বহুতে ইউজ কৰি আছে। কিন্তু হাৰ্ডৱেৰ এক্সেছন যদি এনেবল কৰা অলপ পাৰফৰ্মেঞ্চ বুষ্ট পাবা, কিন্তু কম্পালচৰি নহয়।
থেংক ইউ।
Tanmoy has a very good question, I guess. So he's asking that will it be hectic for us to learn coding and take academic section hand in hand? How do you all manage time? Okay, so it's a good question actually. So programming and academics are quite a different thing when it comes to, if you are not from the circuital branch or from the computer science branch itself. So that will be a very different thing. And if you are from the circuital branch or in the computer science branch, it's a very different thing because you have programming as your subjects in the circuital and the computer branch itself. So it will be going hand in hand itself. But when it comes to practicing more and more and over the top from the syllabus itself, you need to devote your time, you need to divide your time, and you need to have a proper schedule regarding how you are going to proceed. Okay, so one cannot just say that this will be your schedule, you just have to follow this, but you need to have a time, you need to get some time out of your regular day-to-day tasks so that you can devote at least 1 hour in your coding skills to develop your coding skills. And other than the 1 hour, you have 23 more hours left, so you can definitely go in hand with the other academic stuffs as well. So I guess it's not that hectic. Tunjal, I guess you'll be, explaining this better.
Yeah, you can manage it.
Dada, I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, so recently I've started C++, so which will be a better platform for me to, or any other platform to practice the codes and everything?
You are just you have started learning C++ and you have started learning data structures and algorithms of C++ as well.
Yeah, no, I've just started C++ because I had C++ in class 11th and 12th. So I'm just re-revising those stuffs again. So
Okay.
what would be a better platform to means practice, you know?
Okay, so if you are just starting out, then you can definitely go with Geeks for Geeks as of now because that's a very good platform to just practice. There is a section called ZFC practice. Okay, so you can go with that. You can go with, I guess it's HackerRank or HackerRank. There is a platform called HackerRank. You can practice it there as well because they have some questions, basic introductory level questions. You can go for that. And these two might be the good platforms to start with.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. Randeep Chutia has a question. He is asking that will Coding Club help us in cracking ZSOC? As I have mentioned in the future schedule, we will be having a session on open source in the month of February because the applications for ZSOC generally opens in the month of March. So we will be definitely guiding you through in the clearing the ZSOC. We will be helping you guys and we will be preparing together to get selected in the ZSOC itself. We are all, having one student from MCA first year this time around who is already in the ZSOC 21. He has completed his project. So yeah, we have our good mentors. We will be having our mentors. So they will be guiding you towards ZSOC. Yeah, guys, we'll be having 5 more minutes and then we will conclude this session. So if you have any questions, please put forward quickly. Regarding the membership part of it, as I was speaking about, the membership forms will be open. So membership forms are already open. So this is the site of the AEC Coding Club. I guess you already have gone through the site. If you are not, the address is coding.aec.ac.in. You all guys can go through it. Okay. There is when you scroll down from the home section. If you scroll down, there is a button at the bottom left corner. So you can click on it. It will be redirecting you to the join us page of our coding club. So here you will be getting the membership form. You can fill it up. Once you fill it up, our team will be reviewing the form and reviewing the applications. And after the application gets verified, you will be granted the official membership of AC Coding Club. Okay, if you have any queries regarding this, you can definitely ping us in the WhatsApp group itself. So I guess all your queries and doubts have been fulfilled, have been answered by the respective members of our club. So I hope this session has helped you in somewhat in understanding the workflow of a program in the different fields of programming. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope we will be having many more sessions in the future, and we'll be having you guys over there as well. How was the experience regarding the session? Would you like to add something in the chat box itself or via your microphone? Okay, if any of your queries are left unanswered, you can definitely ping us through the WhatsApp group itself. We'll be with this. We'll be ending our session tonight. Thank you very much for joining. The membership will be open till 20th of November. The link of Coding Club, Rakesh, I don't understand the question actually. Please give me the link of Coding Club. As in, what is the link you are referring to?
Sir, দাদা মানে এইটো কোডিং ক্লাবটোৰ যে ক'লা মানে এইটো যে ৱেবছাইটটোৰ লিংকটো
Yeah, it is given in the chat box. You can just go through it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
It's quite easy. It's coding.ac.in. You can just go through it. If you search it in the Google search box, you will definitely get it again there as well. Sorry, it's not 28, it's 20th November. That's what I said. Mr. Russ, I guess it's clear now. Okay, then thank you everyone for joining. You guys can leave apart from the core members of the coding club. Thank you. Mr. Russ, you may leave. Apart from the core members of coding club, please leave.